Hey everyone, Rarity Dash here. Time for another blind commentary. And it's Rainbow Dash Presents time again. This time, the Spiderses. Last time I did RDP, it led to my first ever recorded uncontrolled laughing fit. I do laugh a lot during UFP and, well, pretty much everything, but I don't generally just lose my composure like I did there. That was pretty special. I'm not going to go into this one with raised expectations because of that, though. In fact, if anything, I'm more cautious about this one due to the source material. The Spiderses, if you haven't read it, is what is known as a troll fic. That is a piece of fanfiction written to be intentionally terrible, usually with the intent to provoke the readers. Sometimes troll fics work just by being as offensive as possible, but for the most part, the ones that are the most fun for me, I think, are the ones that just try to capture a certain ineptitude in their badness. I was actually really into troll fiction for a while. It's long gone now, but I even tried writing one myself at one point in the classic My Immortal style, and even successfully fooled some people for a few weeks, which isn't easy. It's hard to affect that sort of true badness. You have to really put yourself into character of a terrible writer and use enough restraint, especially early on, that people believe it. Spiders is a little different, though, from most troll fics, in that I don't think anyone ever actually believed it was anything but a joke. I can't recall the story entirely, but I think the author even presented it as a farce from the start. It is written as a troll fic, though, which is in its utterly mangled English nonsense plot and out-of-nowhere author insertion. Whatever the case, it's a very silly, amusing piece of absurdism, which makes it fun. And which makes me wonder what RDP is going to do with it. The rambling narrative of the original Spiderses is not all that different from Rainbow's own rambling in the stories so far, save far less intelligible even than RD is. FimFlam pretty much has to take this in a different approach, as it just won't work in the same way as the other ones have. So yeah, he's going to have to change it up for this one, probably have an entirely different character tell the story. It is a Twilight-centric story, which makes me think that the role could go to her. It also features Big Mac heavily, but I'm not really sure I even remember if he has much development in MAS. I recall some lines in some episodes about him, suggesting he might be into stallions or something, but honestly, I don't remember if he's even spoken so far. I suppose we'll just have to see and find out what they do, but this could be something interesting. I hope that I enjoy it. Anyway, time for the Spider Ponies. Let's get this started. Okay.
No, this story is totally awesome, you guys, and I just got
Rainbow,
to show
Twilight,
out
and Big
fireplace. Last time me and Pinky did something,
got out of the fireplace.
So much fun. You're just gonna.
It's more animated than before. Oh wow!
The afternoon.
It's always morning.
Celestia.
I am going to read today.
Oh.
You were dismissed, Rainbow Dash.
Celestia's reading the
Okay,
story.
see you guys later.
Okay.
I was bored.
This could be interesting. Celestia's take on Spiderses. And she actually put them in the story.
Twilight awakens in her bedroom. She's depressed, as per usual. Each day fails to present reason to draw further breath. Her servant Spike does not respect her, and when he grows to suitable age, he will devour Twilight with impunity. It is naught but fear of death which impels the young mare to study. Time is non-refundable.
Escaping.
The reaper sharpens his tool for harvest.
Trauma surgery.
Which rises and sets each day.
I didn't even read all those.
Below were but meaningless trivia to its majestic arc. The tool,
Dreams.
which Twilight foolishly calls friend, belches forth a scroll. The parchment falls to the floor, waiting to be retrieved. Go on, my faithful student.
I go to pick up the scroll.
A wise choice. Because as you discover, the scroll was sent by none other than your beloved benevolent teacher. She requests, with much honey and adoration, that you find a particular book and you cast a particular spell. That is your lesson for today. She asks of you very little. Twilight thinks,
Binary code.
I wonder what my parents are doing.
Probably nothing as interesting as being Celestia, student. I get straight to work. I crack open the book and look at how to cast that spell.
It looks simple.
God, I love
Too
how
simple.
nervous
Perhaps
she is.
Celestia is growing feeble in her old age. Perhaps she became unhinged years ago. Perhaps it's about time someone overthrew Celestia and took her place, before her frothing madness swallows up the entirety of Equestria. Do you disagree?
I think that this spell is going to teach me a valuable life lesson. Whatever it is, I get to cast it right away.
Oh, Twilight. If I were a lesser pony, I'd be furious with you. How lucky for us both that I am a god. The world grows at alarming speed. Or rather, you appear to be shrinking. Further and further the walls and furniture tower above you. Your body is racked with extreme pain as it undergoes morphological changes that were never meant to be. You feel organs shift and buckle. Your liver slips, causing you a thick, cutting agony. When at last the horror reaches its inevitable conclusion, you remain
And Spider
insect,
Twilight.
but at this time in a form more fitting your demeanor. Dear student, you are a spider. 8 hairy legs, venomous pincers, and no horn to speak of. If no stallion would love you before, your odds now seem severely diminished.
But I don't want to be a spider.
Someone is sympathetic, I'm sure.
I uncast the spell.
And how do you intend to do that? As I recall, you ignorantly performed the rites without reading the fine details. Mainly, you did not prepare a means to reverse it, and now you are trapped. Just as you are trapped in this story until you find a way to return to your plain pony shape.
Then I go to get Spike. I don't know how yet, but this is his fault, and he's gonna do all the hard work to fix it.
Of
or I'll
course
bite
it is.
in his sleep.
You cry out to Spike, but it is of no use. By what means did you intend to speak to him? At what point have you ever spoken
Twilight.
to a spider? Besides, I'd best beware, student. Pray, what does Spike do when he catches spiders around your domicile?
He eats them with extreme prejudice. They're one of the few
Spike
things he feels
eats
he has no
spiders.
power over.
Well then,
So what? I'm trapped as a spider in a story all by myself for the rest of eternity?
that will be the case. But Providence saw fit to smile upon you. Another spider crawls from between the cracks in the walls.
Yeah, Big Mac
Bright
Spider.
red creature, unlike any species you've seen in the area before.
Twilight, is that you? I recognize your hairy purple butt.
Applejack's brother?
Yup. Twilight, why am I a spider and how did I get here?
We're trapped in a story being read by Celestia. We have to find a way out.
When did that happen? I was just walking up to town from the farm a few minutes ago.
Seriously?
Oh, I suppose I should mention that this is a lesson for you, and I could care less what memories the Red One retains. You may want to redirect your line of conversation, lest you look like an insane, modestly unappealing arachnid.
Applejack's brother? We need to find a way to get
Applejack's
back
brother.
in the ponies. Can you help me?
Well, though she doesn't
I'll
even
be
know his
honest,
name.
I'm only good at 2 things. One is heavy lifting, and the other, well, anyone will tell you they don't call me Big Mac for nothing.
Okay, great. Well, we can rule out one of your skill sets because as a female spider, I'm actually bigger than you, so I can lift more than you can, and the other is not useful at all. So, in general, we can conclude that you are not useful. And you have a girl's voice.
Well, hey now, let's not rule anything out. We still haven't proven that my other skill set won't turn us back into ponies. It's done some amazing things before.
He has a point. Thanks to your idiocy, your only option now is to learn from scratch whatever will undo this spell you've cast. Since you have no reasonable way of forming a good hypothesis, you might as well try anything. Several times, of course, to eliminate confounding outliers.
Fine. Fine. We'll give it a shot, but you better do it right.
Not that I'm picky or anything, but I was just wondering if we could find another spider. Maybe another male spider.
Twilight put on a tough exterior, but deep down her heart was wounded. Could her sniggering classmates have been correct?
Why do we need another spider? What's wrong with me, huh? Am I too fat?
I just think it would help things.
Well, forget it. You'll take what you get and you'll like it.
Okay, let's get started then.
Hang on, you're not doing it right.
I think I'd know if I was doing it wrong.
But spiders have very complex mating rituals. You have to do the mating ritual.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
But you have to do it right or I'll eat you.
I'm telling you, I know what I'm doing.
The red male begins dancing. His movements are hypnotic, and Twilight finds herself sedated, as if by a unique magic she will never experience again. The rest is biology.
That,
Several
Mantis
days
appears in a
later,
lot of these.
Twilight finds herself laying a clutch of eggs. The act is as painful as giving birth 1,000 times over.
Why? This is the worst day.
2 weeks pass.
Derpy.
No progress has been made in finding a
Equestrian tax
Twilight's
code.
conundrum. Meanwhile, Macintosh and Twilight have entered the misery stage of their relationship, wherein Twilight relentlessly henpecks her male companion into a state of alcoholism. He is miserable because everything he does is wrong, and she is miserable because everything he does is wrong.
So Applejack's brother.
Makes sense.
We've ruled out courtship, the miracle of childbirth, and hating each other as a means to change back into ponies.
So, what do you want me to do about it?
I want you to clean up the web is what I want you to do. This thing was totally spotless before you moved in.
Y'all were living alone for 5 minutes, and y'all never clean anything. I bet that without Spock around, y'all probably would have stewed in your own filth as a pony. I clean everything I use, so it lends itself to reason that everything should be clean if you aren't making messes.
Well, obviously you're not cleaning everything you use because the place is still a mess.
I want to go back to being a bachelor stallion. I'm Miss Caramel.
That's it. I'm going to my side of the web and I'm gonna cry until you apologize to me.
Twilight, look, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. It's my fault. You're right. I'll try to clean up around here more often.
Good, because I still have a bunch of other emotional problems that are your fault.
Well, seems I have things to do. Let's wrap this up, shall we? Twilight's disgusting arachnid children burst from their egg sacs in an unholy wave of chitinous newborn lust for sustenance. They cover the floor like a carpet of living death.
What is this crap? Alright, look. Applejack's brother, I have a plan. I want you to kill me. Throw me into the sea of spider babies.
Are y'all sure? It seems unlikely that we'll be blamed for this on account of the fact that no one knows we're spiders, and how would they find us anyway?
Just do it.
Macintosh throws Twilight into the millions of skittering mouths below, but Death's sweet embrace eludes the girl. As with all things in her life, she is merely swept away against her will. Her children lead her down the stairs, stopping briefly over Spike to drain the vital fluids from his body. Perhaps a poetic justice for the spiders that they would appreciate if they were not the ilk of their parents' pairing. Out they go, pouring out of the windows and sweeping down the streets of Ponyville, picking the place clean of life. At last they reach the edge of town, and there, riding atop a hitherto unknown alicorn, who introduces himself as Argenbarger, is another spider. The spider announces itself to be none other than the famed Merriam-Webster. The alicorn uses his fantastic power
I really
to
love that
annihilate the swarm of disobedient children, absorbing their essence in the wake of their deaths. He escorts Twilight back to her home and returns her to her natural form as a pony. There, he explains that Merriam has been his companion for the past 1,000 years. The alicorn had always adored Twilight from afar, but with the recent turn of events, both Argenbarger and Merriam have fallen hopelessly in love with Twilight.
Get a newspaper, roll it up, squash Miriam. You're next if you don't get out of here, buddy.
He obliges out of blind, stupid, romantic inclinations. Now I suppose that concludes our little tale. I hope you have learned something valuable, my faithful students.
What about Big Mac?
Because I'll be expecting a full report on what you learned by tomorrow.
I'll get right on it.
Well, this was such a valuable learning tool. I think that from now on, all residents of Ponyville should be required to sit in for your friend's little readings whenever she requests it. You could always use more Aesops.
Okay. So, did they just leave Big Mac in the story?
Twilight.
Hello, beer.
Don't turn into Corey now.
Love beer.
The spider announces itself to be none other than the famed Merriam-Webster.
Merriam-Webster.
I will put you in the street.
Perfect spider name.
That'll happen.
Well then. I just spit all over your monitor, and I am sorry. Okay, good.
Okay. So, yeah, this was pretty good. I don't know if it was as amusing as the other ones. This was probably, I think, the approach he had to take with the story. Play up the horror imagery in the original, what with the endless waves of spider babies. Make it more serious and dramatic instead of more absurd. Added points for the use of Celestia as the storyteller. Wasn't expecting that. And the new spin of having the actual Twilight be sent into the story instead of just reading it was pretty interesting. I think that worked out pretty well. There was indeed humor in the idea of playing Spider-Sis more straight and repurposing its silliness as a genuine torment for Twilight, but yeah, it just wasn't as laugh out loud as the other ones were. In fact, I have to wonder if a really good dramatic reading of Spider-Sis won't make me laugh more, which is maybe a problem. In no way was it bad, though. I did enjoy it. This series continues to be very fun, and I really liked how this one had a lot more art, too, which made it pretty nice. Next one is the Rainbow Factory one with the absurd title, Captain Hook and the Biker Gorilla, which makes me pretty sure we'll be back with Dash and her silliness. That one also seems to be one of the more popular ones, so I'm expecting it to be pretty good, since Cupcakes was good and it was also one of the popular ones. Anyway, hope you liked the commentary. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.